Picture this. It's late evening, and you're standing by your window, looking out at the street you've lived on for years. The same street where kids once rode bicycles, neighbors waved, and life felt normal. But tonight, something feels off. The playground down the block is empty, the swings move slightly in the wind under a flickering streetlight, and a distant siren cuts through the silence, not urgently, just often enough that it no longer shocks anyone. You lock your door, not because it's late, but because it feels necessary. This isn't a movie scene or a dystopian future. This is daily life for millions of Americans in 2026. While headlines talk about recovery and falling crime, many families live a very different reality shaped by caution and constant awareness. Parents plan routes instead of outings, and children are taught what to do when they hear loud popping sounds before they even learn how to ride a bike. We've all seen how quickly normal life can turn into chaos, like in 2024, when a celebratory Super Bowl parade in Kansas City ended in gunfire, injuring multiple people and shocking the nation, or the countless everyday incidents that never trend online but permanently change families forever. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Crime in America isn't evenly spread. Some cities carry far more of this burden than others. This video isn't about politics, blame, or sensationalism. It's about data, patterns, and real-life impact. Using FBI violent crime statistics, public safety reports, and long-term trends, we're breaking down the top 8 most dangerous cities in America, places where violent crime rates remain consistently among the highest in the nation. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to inform you, because knowing where danger concentrates helps people make smarter decisions about travel, relocation, and safety. As we count down from number 8 to number 1, remember this. Behind every statistic is a neighborhood, behind every number is a family, and behind every city name is a story that rarely makes the headlines. Let's begin. Number 8, Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is globally known for its music, history, and culture, but beneath that identity lies a serious public safety crisis. According to FBI violent crime data, Memphis reports more than 2,500 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, placing it among the most dangerous cities in America. This rate is multiple times higher than the national average, and for many residents, crime is not an occasional concern, but a constant background presence shaping everyday decisions. The city continues to struggle with high levels of assault, robbery, and firearm-related incidents, especially in densely populated neighborhoods. In areas such as Fraser, Orange Mound, and parts of South Memphis, daily routines revolve around safety rather than convenience. Residents often avoid being outside after dark, limit unnecessary travel, and teach children early about staying alert. Many families describe living in a state of quiet caution, listening closely to their surroundings and staying prepared for emergencies. Local schools and community centers frequently adjust schedules due to safety concerns, and public spaces that once encouraged gathering now sit noticeably empty in the evenings. Economic pressure plays a major role in Memphis's crime problem. High poverty rates, limited job opportunities, and long-standing disinvestment have created conditions where violent crime is more likely to take root. In 2026, nearly 1/4 of the population lives below the poverty line, and that stress is reflected in rising reports of violent incidents. Emergency services remain stretched thin, and residents in high crime zones often report slower response times, which further erodes trust and increases fear. What makes Memphis particularly concerning is how normalized the danger has become. Sirens are no longer surprising, and crime scenes no longer stop traffic for long. Parents worry less about if something might happen and more about how close it could be. Memphis remains a city full of culture and resilience. But until its deep economic and safety challenges are addressed, it continues to rank among the most dangerous cities in the country. Number 7, St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is often recognized for its iconic Gateway Arch and rich Midwestern history, but behind that image lies one of the most severe violent crime problems in the United States. Based on FBI crime statistics, St. Louis consistently records one of the highest violent crime rates per capita, with figures exceeding 2,000 violent crimes per 100,000 residents. Homicide rates in the city remain among the worst nationally, placing St. Louis on nearly every list of America's most dangerous cities year after year. For residents in neighborhoods such as North Street Lewis, Walnut Park, and parts of the West End, daily life is shaped by caution. Many people avoid being outside after dark, and even routine activities like walking a dog or stopping at a convenience store are carefully timed. Community members describe hearing gunfire often enough that it blends into the background noise of city life. Families adapt by reinforcing home security, limiting children's movement, and relying on close-knit networks rather than public spaces for safety. Economic decline and population loss play a major role in Street Lewis's ongoing struggle with crime. High poverty levels, abandoned properties, and limited access to stable employment have created conditions where violent activity spreads easily. Police resources are often stretched thin across high-crime districts, leading to slower response times and growing frustration among residents. While revitalization efforts exist in certain areas, large sections of the city continue to experience persistent violence, making Street Lewis a clear and troubling entry on this list. Number 6. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit is often described as a city of resilience and comeback stories, but violent crime remains a major challenge across many neighborhoods. According to FBI data, Detroit reports close to 2,000 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, placing it well above the national average. While parts of downtown have seen redevelopment, large areas of the city continue to struggle with robberies, assaults, and firearm-related incidents that directly affect daily life. In neighborhoods such as Brightmoor, Dexter Linwood, and parts of the East Side, residents plan their routines carefully. Carjackings and armed robberies are frequent enough that people stay alert even during daylight hours. Many families avoid unnecessary travel, double-check locks, and rely heavily on neighbors for awareness. Public spaces that once served as gathering points often sit underused, especially after sunset, as residents prioritize safety over social life. Economic hardship plays a significant role in Detroit's crime problem. High poverty rates, limited job access, and large numbers of vacant properties create conditions where crime can thrive. Police departments face staffing shortages and stretched response times in high-crime areas, adding to residents' concerns. Despite community efforts and rebuilding initiatives, Detroit's violent crime levels remain high enough to keep it firmly on this list. Number 5. Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore's waterfront and historic neighborhoods attract visitors, but violent crime remains deeply rooted across many parts of the city. FBI statistics show Baltimore with over 1,800 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, along with one of the highest homicide rates in the country. These numbers reflect long-standing challenges that have made public safety a constant concern for many residents. In areas like Sandtown, Winchester, West Baltimore, and parts of East Baltimore, everyday life is shaped by caution. Families limit outdoor activity after dark, schools enforce frequent safety protocols, and residents describe an ongoing sense of tension in their neighborhoods. Gun violence and assaults occur often enough that many locals say they've become emotionally worn down rather than shocked by incidents. Baltimore's crime problem is closely tied to economic inequality, unemployment, and strained trust between communities and institutions. Poverty remains widespread, and limited access to opportunity fuels cycles of violence that are difficult to break. While redevelopment projects exist, large sections of the city continue to face persistent safety challenges, keeping Baltimore among the most dangerous cities in America. Number 4. Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland is known for its sports culture and music history, but violent crime remains a serious issue across many neighborhoods. FBI data places Cleveland's violent crime rate well above the national average, with more than 1,700 violent crimes per 100,000 residents. Assaults, robberies, and firearm-related incidents continue to affect large portions of the city, making safety a daily concern for many who live there. In neighborhoods such as Central, Huff, and parts of East Cleveland, residents often describe living with constant alertness. Evening activities are limited, public spaces empty quickly after dark, and families adjust routines to reduce risk. Parents are especially cautious, and community members rely heavily on informal networks to stay informed about dangerous areas or recent incidents. For many, feeling safe outdoors has become the exception rather than the norm. Economic challenges play a key role in Cleveland's crime levels. High poverty rates, lack of stable employment, and long-standing neighborhood disinvestment create conditions where violence persists. Police departments face ongoing resource constraints, and response times in high-crime areas can be inconsistent. Despite community efforts and redevelopment attempts, Cleveland continues to struggle with violent crime at levels that place it firmly among America's most dangerous cities. Number 3, Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City is often associated with food, sports, and strong community identity, but violent crime has increasingly shaped life in many parts of the city. According to FBI statistics, Kansas City records over 1,600 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, with homicide rates that remain among the highest in the nation. These numbers reflect a pattern of sustained violence rather than isolated incidents. In neighborhoods on the east side and in certain central districts, daily routines revolve around awareness and caution. Residents avoid being out late. Community events require visible security, and families closely monitor children's movement. Gun violence and assaults have become frequent enough that many locals describe a constant sense of unease, even during normal daytime activities. Poverty, housing instability, and limited economic opportunity continue to fuel Kansas City's crime problem. Law enforcement agencies face pressure from rising case volumes, while social services struggle to meet demand. Although parts of the city are growing and attracting investment, other areas remain trapped in cycles of violence, keeping Kansas City high on the list of dangerous American cities. Number 2, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque often appears in travel photos as a peaceful city framed by desert landscapes and wide skies, but the reality on the ground tells a more complicated story. According to FBI data, the city records over 1,600 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, placing it among the most dangerous cities in America. Assaults, robberies, and firearm-related incidents occur at rates far above the national average, catching many newcomers off guard who expect calm rather than caution. In neighborhoods like the Southeast Heights and parts of the International District, daily life revolves around awareness. Residents plan errands carefully, avoid being out late, and remain alert even during routine activities. Parents often limit outdoor play, and locals describe a constant low-level tension that never fully goes away. It's not chaos, it's the feeling that something could happen anywhere at any time. What pushes Albuquerque so high on this list is the combination of economic pressure and substance abuse issues that continue to strain the city. Poverty, housing instability, and limited access to long-term support services have allowed cycles of violence to repeat. While Albuquerque still offers beauty and culture, its crime rate forces many residents to live defensively rather than freely, earning it the number 2 spot on this list. Number 1, Oakland, California. Oakland sits next to some of the wealthiest cities in the world, surrounded by technology, innovation, and opportunity, yet it ranks as the most dangerous city in America by violent crime rate. FBI statistics show Oakland with over 1,600 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, driven by high levels of robbery, assault, and firearm-related incidents. The contrast between economic success nearby and daily risk within the city makes Oakland's situation especially striking. In areas such as East Oakland and Fruitvale, residents structure their lives around safety. Car break-ins are common, public transit requires caution, and even familiar streets feel unpredictable after dark. What makes Oakland unique is that crime affects not just specific neighborhoods, but spills across the city, leaving few areas completely untouched. Being alert isn't a choice here, it's a habit. Oakland's top ranking isn't just about numbers, it's about impact. Rising living costs, deep inequality, and strained public safety systems have created an environment where fear shapes everyday decisions. Despite its creativity, culture, and resilience, Oakland's violent crime problem continues to overshadow progress, placing it at number 1 on this list and making it a powerful reminder that prosperity nearby doesn't always mean safety at home. These cities are more than statistics. They are homes where families adapt daily to fear, caution, and uncertainty, shaped by economic pressure, inequality, and long-term neglect rather than headlines alone. Violent crime is not evenly spread across America, and understanding where it concentrates helps people make smarter choices about travel, relocation, and safety without giving in to panic. Awareness is not about fear, it's about preparation, accountability, and demanding better solutions for communities that deserve safer streets and stronger futures. If this breakdown helped you see beyond the numbers, share your thoughts in the comments. Hit like to support the channel, and subscribe to Globe Wisp for more data-driven videos that uncover